Have you ever wished there was, I don't know, a shortcut? Something to help understand these huge, complex shifts happening in our world?
Something that just cuts through all the noise.
Exactly. Gets right to the core of what's really important. Well, today, that's pretty much the kind of deep dive we're going for.
Okay.
We're going to try and unravel a really monumental topic. It's about how artificial intelligence, AI, isn't just changing what we do,
Right.
but it's poised to fundamentally reshape who we are as a species, especially, our intellectual lives, maybe even our purpose.
That's a big claim. So what's our starting point for this?
Yeah, it is big. Our source material today, it comes from these really illuminating excerpts of AI pattern recognition for resource management.
Okay, resource management. Interesting angle.
It is. And look, this isn't just some dry technical paper. It feels more like a foundational text, really. It suggests a future where AI's ability to analyze patterns, well, it becomes absolutely central to how we exist.
Central to human existence.
Yeah. So, okay, let's unpack this a bit. We're talking about a world where AI doesn't just, help us out.
Uh-huh.
It actually guides our intellectual evolution. It sets the stage for what the source actually calls the new normal for humans.
The new normal. Okay.
It's an incredibly ambitious vision. Almost makes your head spin a little thinking about it.
It does sound pretty radical.
Yeah.
So what's the mission then for this deep dive? What are we trying to get out of exploring this?
Good question. Our mission, really, is to explore the profound implications, the really far-reaching ones, of AI's amazing capacity to recognize patterns, predict them, and ultimately maybe even explain them.
Okay. Recognize, predict, explain. Got it.
And we're focusing specifically on how this changes human research and, honestly, the whole landscape of human existence.
The whole landscape.
Yeah. The core idea, the one that jumps out from the source, it's crystal clear. As AI gets better and better, it's going to absorb huge amounts of, manual labor.
Which leaves us.
Exactly. It leaves humanity with a totally redefined purpose, an elevated one, the source suggests.
Indeed. And what really stands out for me reading these sources, it isn't just the technological leap itself. That's amazing, obviously.
Sure.
But it's the complete redefinition of human purpose that it talks about.
Yeah.
It really forces us to ask, well, what does it actually mean to be well-informed or even intelligent, in a world where AI is optimizing almost everything around us?
That's a deep question right there.
It is. And we're going to dive into how this pattern recognition capability could fundamentally alter our roles, transform how we learn,
Yeah.
maybe even redefine our basic nature. The idea is it propels humanity towards this unprecedented era of asking questions, of understanding, something completely beyond what we think of as work today.
Right. All right. So let's start where the source material does. With this foundational premise, this massive paradigm shift, where AI basically redefines human purpose and what research even is. So the source material, it really paints this picture, this truly transformative vision for the future of work, future of, everything. It kicks off with a really bold prediction, almost revolutionary, you could say.
Which is?
That AI's capability, as it keeps growing, will basically absorb almost all forms of manual labor across every single sector you can think of.
All manual labor. That's huge.
Isn't it? Just pause for a second and really try to picture that. A world where all the repetitive stuff, the physically demanding jobs, even the, tedious mental tasks that take up so much human time right now.
Like data entry or basic analysis.
Exactly. Complex manufacturing, logistics, data entry, even some creative processes that follow predictable patterns.
Yeah.
It's all handled by machines.
Okay.
This isn't just automation as we know it. It's like liberation from routine, from drudgery.
So if AI takes on that massive burden.
Yeah, what does that free us up to do? What becomes our new job, our collective purpose? What do we do all day when work as we know it pretty much disappears?
Well, from that broader perspective the source offers, this isn't just about job displacement, right? That's usually the first thing people worry about with AI.
Understandably, yeah.
But this vision, it goes much deeper. It's describing a fundamental shift, like tectonic plates moving in human society. Individual contribution changes completely.
How so?
The very definition of work, it just transforms. The sources say, as AI takes over all these jobs, humanity transitions into a new main role.
Which is
that of educated researchers.
Educated researchers,
Yeah.
not just scientists then.
No, not presented that way. It's not some niche career for a few academics. The source calls it the new normal for humans.
Yeah.
Everyone.
The new normal.
Oh, wow. Think about what that means. We're no longer primarily defined by, what we produce physically or how well we follow routines or execute tasks someone else designed. Instead, our value, our contribution, what we do every day, it becomes rooted in our ability to ask questions, to discover things, to think critically, to just understand the universe better.
So it's a shift from doing to discovering.
Exactly. It's a total reorientation of our collective focus.
Okay, but what are we researching then? If everyone's a researcher, what's the subject matter?
Well, the source says research becomes an unlimited field, and it presents jobs for human findings.
Unlimited field.
Yeah, and it puts it quite poetically, actually. It says, there is so much to research to improve everything there is in the world of wonder.
The world of wonder. I like that. So it's not just science labs and papers.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's about optimization, but in the broadest sense. Relentless, curious optimization of every single aspect of existence.
So once AI handles the basics, food, shelter, security, all that.
Right. Once it frees us from manual labor, we're left with this almost infinite landscape of problems to solve, mysteries to unravel, possibilities to explore.
Give me some examples, like what kind of things?
Oh, anything. Devising totally new ways to generate sustainable energy. Understanding the incredibly complex dynamics of social systems, why groups behave certain ways.
Right.
Optimizing education for individuals to unlock potential we can't even imagine now. Or even, digging into the biggest philosophical questions. Consciousness, meaning, our place in the cosmos.
Wow, so the scope is just vast.
Exactly. The sheer number of problems and possibilities, they become not just available, but sort of ripe for us to investigate once our basic needs are met and routine tasks are gone.
So the picture is one where human curiosity, that drive we have to understand and improve things, it finally gets let off the leash.
That's a great way to put it. Unfettered freedom to flourish seems to be the vision.
Okay, that's the what. But how does AI make this happen? What's the engine driving this massive shift?
Right, the mechanism. The source is pretty specific here. It talks about AI's core mechanism being, and I'm quoting loosely here, the pattern prediction recognition explanation by AI. It calls it an AI pattern mechanism behind an AI calculates patterns to have an efficient control.
Okay, that's a bit dense. Can you break that down? Pattern prediction, recognition, explanation, efficient control?
Sure. Let's simplify it. Think of AI not just as a super fast calculator, but more like a hyper-intelligent systems architect.
Okay.
It has this unbelievable ability to look at enormous data sets. And when I say enormous, I mean everything it can access. Tiny biological signals, huge global climate shifts, everything in between.
Right, just unimaginable amounts of data.
Exactly. And within all that data, it finds recurring structures, sequences, relationships, things that are often completely invisible to us humans.
Patterns we just can't see.
Precisely. And critically, it doesn't just spot a pattern that has happened. It uses that understanding to predict what's likely to happen next.
Okay, prediction.
And here's the crucial part from that quote. It uses that predictive power to optimize systems or to exert efficient control over them. It's not passive observation, it's active management based on pattern understanding.
Efficient control. That sounds powerful, maybe a little unsettling.
It does have that potential, which is why understanding the goal is key. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think.
Go on.
The ultimate purpose of AI analyzing all these patterns, according to the source, it's stated quite clearly, to have an efficient control for this topic. All kinds of human research patterns, recognition, and prediction of humans.
Wait, so the control is aimed at us?
Yeah.
At human research?
That will need to become researchers, it continues, on all the scientific topics, subjects, discoveries, and all scientific future jobs, education, medicines. So yes, it seems the primary focus of this efficient control is shaping and guiding our research landscape.
Guiding human research.
By understanding the patterns within research, within learning, within human capability itself, and the source connects us directly to a broader goal. AI analysis for human health, security, all needs, and sustainable living.
Okay, so it's control for our benefit is the idea. Health, security, needs, sustainability.
That's the explicit aim described. It implies an AI designed to deeply understand the patterns that make us healthy, that keep us secure, that fulfill our needs efficiently, and that help us live sustainably.
So it's anticipating threats, optimizing supply chains, steering us toward green tech, things like that.
Presumably, yes. It's presented as a systemic intelligence, an all-encompassing AI that becomes the foundation, proactively guiding human intellectual progress.
So it's not just a tool we use.
It's more like a co-navigator. a partner in shaping humanity's future based on this deep pattern understanding. #tag2. Deconstructing human-centric patterns through AI's lens.
Okay, that foundational idea is clear. AI recognizes patterns, predicts outcomes, and uses that for efficient control to guide us towards becoming researchers focused on health, sustainability, etc. Now, let's get specific. The source doesn't just leave it at patterns, does it? It breaks down what kind of human patterns AI will look at.
No, it's surprisingly detailed.
Mm-hmm.
It really drills down into deconstructing these very human-centric patterns. It's like AI is turning its analytical gaze directly onto us, #KA, human behavior patterns.
Okay, first on the list in the source, human behavior patterns.
Right.
Now just think about how complex human behavior is. I mean, everything from why you choose one brand of coffee over another to how we interact in huge crowds, our decision-making, which is often totally irrational.
Definitely not always logical.
Not at all. Even subtle things like body language or the tone we use. How could AI possibly map all of that? It seems infinitely varied, sometimes contradictory.
Well, imagine AI processing just staggering amounts of data. Billions of interactions, purchases, conversations, online activities, maybe even biometric responses in certain contexts,
Oh.
all happening simultaneously. And from that, identifying these recurring tendencies, not just in one person, but across huge groups. It's more than just statistics. It's trying to predict the choreography of human life almost.
The choreography of human life. That's quite a phrase.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, is how AI might identify the really subtle cues, things we're not even aware of, the tiny triggers that consistently lead to certain behaviors.
Like what? In a practical sense.
Well, think about the research context again. Maybe AI could spot the very early signs of burnout or cognitive fatigue in a researcher before their productivity actually drops.
Okay, that would be useful.
Or maybe it can figure out the exact mix of information delivery, team structure, even maybe the lighting in a room that consistently sparks the best creative brainstorming in a specific group.
Tailoring the environment for peak performance.
Precisely. And this deep understanding could then be used actively to optimize work environments, to tweak how data is presented, maybe even to personalize mentorship styles to guide researchers better.
And the implications for fields like psychology or sociology, urban planning.
Huge. Researchers in those fields, if they have these AI-driven predictive models, could test interventions much more effectively, simulate outcomes, develop strategies based on validated patterns of how humans actually respond, moving beyond just intuition or small-scale studies. It becomes data-driven design for human flourishing. #B, human education patterns.
Okay, so behavior is one thing, but the source goes further, right? It talks about human education patterns.
Yes, and this feels particularly relevant given the new normal of everyone being an educated researcher.
Exactly. So what does analyzing education patterns entail? Is it just about tracking grades?
Oh, much deeper than that, it seems. Imagine AI not just seeing what we learn, but meticulously analyzing how we learn, as individuals and as groups.
How we learn, like learning styles.
Potentially, yes. Identifying optimal learning pathways for different people. Pinpointing where knowledge retention really sticks or where it tends to fade. Discerning unique learning styles from massive amounts of data on how people interact with educational material.
So could AI, like, build a custom curriculum just for me, based on how I personally learn best?
That's the implication. Dynamically tailoring content, exercises, challenges to maximize your understanding and skill building. Maybe even finding the perfect analogy to explain a complex concept to you based on your cognitive profile.
That sounds amazing. Personalized learning on a whole new level.
And consider this. What if AI could identify the precise knowledge gaps, maybe tiny overlooked gaps, that if you filled them, would turn you into a truly groundbreaking researcher in some emerging field?
Wow. So it's not just about learning better, it's about strategic learning, directing potential.
Exactly. Which leads to this crucial question the source raises, implicitly. Could AI actually guide people towards the specific research fields where their unique learning patterns, their cognitive strengths, their way of thinking, where all that would likely yield the biggest breakthroughs?
Like a hyper-intelligent career counselor for research.
Sort of. By analyzing these complex educational patterns, AI wouldn't just optimize individual learning, it could also forecast future research needs.
Oh.
By spotting emerging global challenges, seeing where knowledge gaps exist across the board, identifying areas where humanity's understanding is weakest, or where we urgently need more research, more interdisciplinary work.
So it could steer talent proactively.
That seems to be the idea. cultivating human talent, directing individuals towards the frontiers of discovery before the need becomes critical. It's like orchestrating a global research workforce, aligning our intellectual power with the planet's biggest problems, maximum impact. #C. Human biology pattern factors.
Okay, behavior education. Now we get even more personal. The source talks about human biology pattern factors.
Yes, diving right into our physical selves.
Oh, biology. So what does AI analyze here? Our DNA.
That's likely part of it, yes. Genetic predispositions, but it sounds much broader. Imagine AI monitoring your health metrics constantly, in real time.
Like my smartwatch, but on steroids.
Exactly. Integrating data from your genes, yes, but also environmental factors you're exposed to, your unique daily rhythms, heart rate variability, sleep quality, how you metabolize nutrients, maybe even subtle changes at the cellular level, early biomarkers for disease.
Predicting illness years in advance.
That's the potential, isn't it? Not just days or weeks, but potentially years or decades before symptoms even show up. And optimizing preventative care with incredible personalized precision.
So like a nutrition plan based specifically on my gut microbiome, or an exercise routine perfectly tuned to my genetics.
Precisely those kinds of things. AI mapping out our individual biological blueprints and tendencies to a degree we just can't fathom right now.
The implications for health are obviously staggering. Personalized medicine finally realized.
Absolutely, and unparalleled levels of health security, both for individuals and whole populations. We could shift almost entirely from reacting to illness to predicting and preventing it, all tailored to unique biological patterns.
And that directly impacts our capacity for research, right? Healthier people, longer lives.
It creates a population with a much greater capacity for sustained, deep intellectual work, definitely. But there's another layer too.
What's that?
Understanding these biological patterns could directly inform research into enhancing human abilities for intellectual pursuits.
Enhancing, like cognitive enhancement.
Potentially. Imagine AI identifying specific patterns in brain activity that consistently correlate with peak focus or creativity or memory recall, or identifying physiological states may be related to sleep or nutrition or stress levels that optimize problem solving.
And then what? We try to replicate those patterns.
Human researchers, guided by that knowledge, could develop entirely new techniques, interventions, maybe even ethical biohacks that don't just prevent illness, but actively boost our inherent intellectual potential, pushing the limits of what the human mind can achieve. #D, human nature patterns.
Okay, this is getting wild. Biology, education, behavior. Then the source mentions human nature patterns.
This one feels different. Deeper, maybe more philosophical.
It seems broader than just behavior. It sounds like it's talking about fundamental human tendencies, motivations, how we interact at a really deep level.
Core aspects of being human.
Yeah, things like empathy, altruism, creativity, that drive we have to explore, or even our capacity for, both incredible connection and terrible conflict. Can AI really understand that stuff, the essence of human experience?
That is the multi-trillion-dollar question, isn't it? What's really compelling about this category, though, is the potential the source implies for AI to identify the underlying patterns that drive our collective curiosity.
Our desire for discovery.
Exactly. And maybe even the deep structures of our societies, the unwritten rules, the philosophical underpinnings. If AI can discern these profound patterns of human nature,
then what?
Then it could guide human researchers to tackle the most fundamental questions we face. Questions about morality, consciousness, purpose, our place in the universe, the really big stuff.
But how does AI know what's good or bad in human nature?
You picked up on that phrase from the source. Needed pattern in existence opposed to this topic.
Yeah, that stood out. Needed versus opposed.
It's profound, isn't it? It suggests AI might not just show us the patterns of our nature, but could also highlight which patterns seem beneficial, needed for our flourishing, for planetary health, and which ones seem detrimental, opposed to our well-being or progress.
So an ethical dimension built into the AI's analysis, helping us see not just what we are, but what we should strive for.
That seems to be the implication. AI might predict our tendencies, our nature, but we humans would still face the crucial choice. Who do we want to be? How do we align our collective patterns with our highest values?
So even with AI guiding us, human agency, human choice remains critical.
Absolutely paramount, it seems. AI provides the map, maybe even suggests the best routes, but we still have to decide on the destination and do the driving.
Okay, so we've gone deep into how AI might analyze us, our behaviors, learning, biology, even our nature. But the source material, it doesn't stop there, does it? It zooms out. way out.
Right. It expands the scope dramatically. It looks beyond the individual human to the massive interconnected systems that shape our world. Society, economy, environment. Hashtag A. Human politics pattern.
Right, starting with human politics patterns. Now that sounds ambitious, analyzing politics.
Incredibly ambitious. How could any system predict the sheer complexity, the frequent irrationality of human politics?
Exactly. We're talking subtle shifts in public opinion, figuring out if a policy actually works across diverse cultures, predicting the twists and turns of political systems, local squabbles to international diplomacy. It's chaotic.
It often seems that way. But imagine AI sifting through mountains of data, historical records, voting patterns, economic indicators, demographic shifts, maybe even analyzing the sentiment in news and social media.
Looking for the hidden patterns.
Exactly. Identifying the underlying factors that consistently lead to, say, social harmony versus conflict, or finding the most efficient, maybe the most equitable ways to achieve big policy goals, things like universal health care or climate action or sustainable development.
Could AI do that without bias? Politics is so full of bias.
That's the critical question, isn't it? Could AI's analysis, potentially more objective, lead to more effective evidence-based research into how to improve society? Research that's maybe free from the usual human biases, the partisan fighting, the emotional reactions that muddy the waters.
An objective view of politics.
By seeing correlations and maybe even causal links that we humans miss, AI could guide researchers, help them develop and test governance models that are more stable, more responsive to actual needs.
Based on data, not just ideology.
That's the hope expressed here. Using AI's insights, researchers could design policies backed by a deep understanding of political behavior, leading perhaps to more resilient, fair, and functional societies, moving governance towards effectiveness. Hashtag B, human economics patterns.
Okay, politics is one massive system. Next, the source points to human economics patterns.
Another hugely complex domain.
Right, from why I bought this specific gadget, multiply that by billions, all the way up to global financial markets, supply chains, resource allocation.
It's intricate.
So AI here becomes like the ultimate economic forecaster, predicting market trends with spooky accuracy, finding hidden efficiencies in how we make and move stuff, pinpointing why wealth gaps exist.
That seems to be the idea, seeing the invisible forces in the economy. Forecasting crop yields, predicting trade flows, maybe understanding the ripple effects of a decision in one sector on the entire global system, revealing the patterns that shape our prosperity or lack thereof.
So how does that help the educated researcher?
Well, if AI can model these complex economic patterns so well, human researchers can stop just reacting to crises or tinkering at the edges.
And do what instead?
Focus on designing fundamentally better economic systems, more stable, more equitable models for creating and distributing wealth.
Moving beyond just tweaking the current system.
Exactly. AI could pinpoint the real bottlenecks, predict supply chain issues way in advance, or model the long-term impact of different policies on everyone, not just certain groups.
And researchers use those insights
To innovate, to come up with solutions for true global prosperity, fair resource distribution, making sure economic growth actually helps everyone and doesn't wreck the planet, building a more just and, well, abundant world based on deep economic understanding. Hashtag C, environment patterns.
Okay, politics, economics, now environment patterns. This feels absolutely critical.
Crucial for our survival, really. Here, AI's power to analyze seems indispensable.
So what's it looking at? Climate data.
Yes, complex climate data, temperature changes, rainfall, atmospheric gases, but also biodiversity shifts. Where are species thriving or declining? Natural resource availability. How much fresh water is there, really? Pollution trends in air, water, soil.
Like a planetary health checkup, constantly running.
That's a good way to think of it. AI monitoring huge ecosystems in real time, identifying those delicate balances, or warning us about tipping points before we cross them.
Tipping points, like irreversible damage.
Potentially, yes. Tracking deforestation, ocean acidification, glacier melt with incredible precision, providing a constant, dynamic picture of the planet's health.
And how does this empower human researchers working on sustainability?
It gives them the tools they desperately need, the granular data, the sophisticated predictive models. You can't design effective, sustainable practices without truly understanding the system you're trying to fix.
Right, you need the detailed map.
Exactly. With AI identifying these patterns and forecasting the consequences, often long-term cascading consequences, humans can develop real solutions.
Not just abstract ideas.
No, concrete strategies, large-scale carbon capture technologies, resilient farming methods for a changing climate, truly circular economies where waste is minimized.
So AI provides the knowledge foundation.
It provides the bedrock. It moves environmental management from just reacting to disasters to proactive, informed stewardship, helping us build that harmonious relationship with the planet the source talks about, ensuring resources and ecological balance for the future. Hashtag D, nature patterns.
Okay, there's one more pattern category I mentioned, nature patterns. How is that different from environment patterns? It sounds similar.
It does sound similar, but the source seems to position it as something broader, maybe more fundamental.
Yeah.
Less about direct human impact and more about the underlying laws and systems of the natural world itself.
Things that happen whether we're here or not.
Kinda, yeah. Think about huge geological processes, plate tectonics, the rock cycle, or grand astronomical phenomena, solar cycles, galaxy movements, planetary orbits.
Wow, big picture stuff.
Or fundamental biological cycles on a massive scale, animal migrations across continents, deep ocean currents, the planet's own sort of natural rhythms, the deep underlying structures and energies of the planet and the cosmos. AI could potentially decipher these patterns on a scale we can barely imagine.
Revealing the universe's operating system.
That's one way to look at it.
Okay.
And this leads to a fascinating question the source implicitly asks.
Which is?
By understanding these deep, fundamental nature patterns, what profound new truths might we uncover? Truths that could completely reshape our understanding of existence itself.
So it feeds back into that world of wonder idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It informs foundational scientific discoveries, things that might not seem immediately practical, but could ultimately benefit humanity in totally unexpected ways.
Like what?
Maybe understanding deep cosmic patterns leads to brand new physics, new energy sources, or deciphering the biochemistry of some deep-sea organism unlocks cures for diseases.
Pushing the absolute boundaries of knowledge.
Right. It provides the raw material for these educated researchers to explore the fabric of reality itself, and then apply those insights in transformative ways we can't even predict yet. It's about reading the universe's own instruction manual.
Okay. We've covered a lot of ground. AI analyzing patterns in human behavior, education, biology, nature, politics, economics, the environment. It's almost overwhelming, the scope.
It really is.
So what's the point of all this? What's the ultimate goal behind giving AI this immense power to see patterns everywhere?
Well, the source circles back to a singular, very profound goal, achieving the highest level of understanding. Hashtag AA, achieving the highest level of understanding.
The highest level of understanding. What does that mean in practical terms?
The source puts it like this. Understanding explanations of patterns that lead to the highest level of understanding for humans that need an explanation on all aspects of the subject of everything that is called a needed pattern in existence, opposed to this topic.
Okay, unpack that sentence for me. Understanding explanations of patterns.
Right. It suggests AI isn't just spitting out predictions or finding correlations. It's fundamentally about making those findings understandable to us, actionable.
So it explains why.
Exactly. Not just what will happen, but explaining why. Identifying the mechanisms behind it, showing the causal links, clarifying those super complex relationships between all the different factors.
Making the complex simple, or at least comprehensible.
Comprehensible seems the right word. Allowing us humans to reach this unparalleled level of insight into why things are the way they are, why certain patterns keep showing up. It's moving beyond just having the data to actually grasping the meaning behind it.
Like AI isn't just the analyst, it's also the ultimate teacher, explaining the universe's secrets.
That's a great analogy. AI is the ultimate tutor.
So, okay, what does that mean for us, for the human researchers?
It means AI isn't just handing us answers on a plate. It's giving us much better tools and the foundational understanding we need to ask better questions.
So it elevates our own inquiry.
Precisely. Formulate more insightful hypotheses. Build a deeper, more nuanced understanding of everything.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine AI doesn't just give a medical diagnosis. It provides a complete, clear explanation of the complex biological patterns, genetic, lifestyle, environmental, that led to that specific disease in that specific person. That empowers researchers to devise truly novel, targeted cures.
Okay, I see.
Or in economics, this isn't just forecast a market crash. It gives a crystal clear breakdown of the interacting patterns, political instability, resource scarcity, consumer behavior shifts that are driving it. That allows human economists to design more resilient systems.
So this explanatory power lets human researchers operate on a whole different level.
A higher cognitive level, yes. Tackling problems with more clarity, more insight, maybe even a kind of intuition that's built on deep understanding, not just guesswork.
So we're not just passive recipients of AI's knowledge.
Not at all. We become active, elevated collaborators in this grand project of understanding existence. ##B, continuous improvement for a lifetime.
And this isn't a one-shot deal, right? The source mentions something about a lifetime.
Yes, that's crucial. It stresses that these applications are for a lifetime and cover all other concern patterns for this topic and/or subject.
What does "for a lifetime" imply here?
It implies a continuous feedback loop, a never-ending process.
How does that loop work?
Well, as AI gets more data, observes more interactions across all these domains, it constantly refines its pattern recognition. It gets better and better.
Okay.
And humans, armed with AI's deeper explanations, we then refine our research questions. We develop more sophisticated ways to investigate. We uncover new mysteries to explore.
So AI improves, which helps us improve, which feeds back into AI.
Exactly. It's a perpetual cycle of improvement, an ongoing iterative process of discovery, optimization, deeper understanding, driven by this synergy between AI and human intelligence.
So it's not like we reach some endpoint where all questions are answered.
No, the vision seems to be more like a constantly expanding frontier of knowledge, always pushing outwards.
And that ties back to the beginning, doesn't it? That world of wonder and the unlimited field for human research.
Beautifully, yes. If we're constantly learning, constantly deepening our understanding with AI as our tireless guide, then the horizon of discovery really does stretch out infinitely.
So being an educated researcher isn't just a job description.
It's more like a perpetual state of being,
Yeah.
a lifelong journey of intellectual growth, constantly finding new layers of understanding in everything.
Which sounds like a pretty meaningful existence, actually.
It certainly promises a lifetime of purpose, continuous contribution to humanity's collective knowledge, making every day potentially an adventure of the mind. #outro.
Well, we have certainly covered a lot today. We've explored this future drawn from our source material, where AI's incredible ability to see and predict patterns really does transform everything about human existence. It paints a picture of us all becoming these dedicated researchers across science, society, the environment, every field imaginable.
From the tiniest nuances of our own behavior to the grand rhythms of the cosmos.
Exactly. AI meticulously unraveling the whole complex tapestry of existence, showing us the patterns, maybe even the purpose, underneath it all.
And the sources we've unpacked, they really do suggest this future where AI becomes the ultimate guide, not just making things efficient, but actually propelling human understanding, human inquiry to levels we've never seen before.
Ensuring our health, our security, guiding us to sustainable living.
While also empowering us to pursue knowledge with incredible depth. It really redefines what it means to be human in an age where intelligence, artificial and our own, is potentially abundant.
So this deep dive into AI pattern recognition for resource management, it leaves us with a really fascinating question, something for you, the listener, to think about. In a world where AI can uncover every pattern, where it highlights every needed pattern, and where this new normal for humans really is to be an educated researcher, what's left? What will be the ultimate, the most profound question that only human consciousness with our unique mix of intuition, creativity, maybe even our flaws, what question can only we truly ask and maybe ultimately answer?
That is a profound thought to end on. What is uniquely ours to ask?
Something to mull over. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving into this incredible, always expanding world of knowledge.
This is DigitView.